Okay, so I'm going to show you a whole bunch of cool stuff today. This is some of my best material. I'm going to show you why you should really never compliment a woman ever that you're dating, okay, unless there's certain circumstances, which I will show you as this video progresses. But I believe I have the best method, the best system, and the best way to help any guy start to learn, understand, and master the language of women. So this guy in my community, he puts up a post, he goes, 744,000 followers and needy. Okay? He goes, hey guys, just an observation on the text game and mindset. He goes, why does the woman with 740,000 followers and 1,000 comments on every post demand better communication from me? Question mark. He goes, how is she not possibly getting the validation she's looking for? Question mark. He goes, she has pursued me from the start. She knows I'm in a relationship. So yesterday I replied, I like taking things slow, don't you? Question mark. Which, to be honest, sounds strange coming out of my mouth. And of course she responded that she likes to take things slow as well. Casey is teaching something no one else is. I truly believe my purpose in life is to help all of you with this stuff. I believe I teach this better than anybody. I don't think there's anybody that understands these concepts better than me, and I already know that I have the best system. So after today's video is over, hop into what I built. I have the best community, and I'm going to show you how to learn, understand, and master the language of women, so that way your dating life gets a whole lot easier. Let's dive in. Okay, so you're going to read this, never compliment a woman, and you're going to be like, but Casey, my mom always told me I should. Oh, okay. Your mom doesn't really know what she's talking about. Complimenting a woman subconsciously communicates this one thing. It subconsciously communicates, hey, my internal world right now has a fear of loss, so I better suck up and I better act like I'm a kiss ass. That's what it does. When you compliment her, it basically says, hey, let me be a suck up. Let me show you how big of a suck up I am. Okay, so because of that, now she thinks you have low SMV, okay, low sexual market value, okay? So she's like, okay, well, this guy has to compliment me. The reason why this guy is complimenting me is because he has to. He basically has to suck up to me because his sexual market value is that low. This is how she interprets it, okay? So she takes the compliment. Yes, she'll take it. She will take that compliment. She might even smile at you. She says thank you when you give the compliment, okay? And she acts like she likes it just for a split second. And then here's what's going to happen. Then instantly what you're going to notice is her respect level drops and her arousal level drops, and you will see her like you less. So long story short, you need to stop complimenting women that you're dating. It doesn't help you. Like, you have to understand that a lot of times women's emotions are opposite to your logic. So basically just grab a sheet of notebook paper and write down everything that makes logical sense to you. If I'm loyal, she should be loyal. If I'm nice to her, she will reciprocate and be nice to me. If I compliment her, now she will be nice and sweet and want to compliment me. Okay, those are all of your beliefs that make sense logically on paper. Now grab a red marker and put a big X through all of them and realize that her emotions are opposite to your logic, and everything that you wrote down probably is not going to work in the real world. That's my advice to you. Let's keep going. Complimenting her signals that you have lower status and probably lower SMV than she does. So you might say, well, Casey, lower status compared to who? You're like, if I have lower status compared to who? If I'm complimenting her and that signals lower status compared to who? Okay? Lower status compared to the last guy who was banging her that wasn't complimenting. That's who. The last guy that she was nailing wasn't complimenting her, and she thought that was a turn on because he acted like he can probably get hotter women. Well, take notes, fellas. That's who. Stop doing all the things that communicates, hey, you're the hottest woman I've ever been with. Because that's what you're doing, okay? You're actually communicating, hey, smiley face, you're the hottest woman I've ever been with in my life. And when you do that, watch her desire level completely fade. Watch her not like you, watch her pull back, watch her show disinterest. So every time you ever compliment her, you will see that she likes you less. This is what you're going to notice. She will basically, like, in real time, in the moment, you will notice, like, her vocal tone shifts. So, like, these three things will happen when you start complimenting women too much. She will start to get argumentative. She starts to get disrespectful or disagreeable. And then you'll notice a vocal tone shift of disinterest. This is what happens, okay? So you complimenting her basically says, something like, maybe I should find a guy with higher value who doesn't. This is what happens when you compliment her. You complimenting her, it says in the back of her mind, she goes, well, maybe I should just find a guy who has higher value who doesn't feel the need to compliment me. Okay? Maybe I should just find a guy like that. So women really only feed off of, like, negative emotion is what you're going to find. The guy who maintains his own life and is not calling her a lot, that's who she wants to be with. The guy who doesn't give a lot of, like, let's say maybe phone call reassurance, the guy who doesn't really need to give all these compliments, this is the guy that she wants. The guy who is giving her, like, even somewhat negative emotion because she can't necessarily read his interest level. Now, a lot of men, they typically will believe, like, in order to attract a woman, they have to try super hard. You don't, okay? Since women will oftentimes naturally just feed off the negative emotion of not being able to read a guy's interest level, okay? You not complimenting does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. The older you get, the more you realize that in your dating life, to attract women and maintain their interest level, it's far more about what you don't do and what you stop doing than what you actually do, okay? So guys who basically, like, the guys who feel like they need to give a lot of good emotion, okay, or good vibes, what happens is the woman now just starts to naturally crave the man who doesn't, or the guy who is, like, distant, or the guy who doesn't really care, okay? So, like, you need to just internalize these things even if they hurt your feelings. That's the biggest thing you got to realize. Like, I don't really care how your feelings feel about this. You will watch this play out in the real world, in your life or in your friends' lives too. So you might be wondering, well, Casey, when do I compliment? You might be sitting here like, well, do I never say anything positive at all? What if she gets to a point where she's like, well, why is this guy even with me in the first place? I'm going to help you. When to compliment? You want to compliment when she is basically starving for a compliment. Like, she's craving a compliment so much, okay? And is really hinting at needing one. So she will probably initiate the things. She'll be like, oh, I just got a new dress. Do you like it? Or she might say things like, hey, babe, I just got my nails done. Do you like how they look? Okay, she's going to do all this. When she says this, and she's basically like fishing for a compliment or hinting that she needs one, this is when you can tell her you like the nails that just got done, okay? This is when you can just say something very simple. If she shows you her nails, you say, yeah, they look good, okay? What you want to do is you want to deliver the compliment in like a 6 out of 10 interested vocal tone. If you keep the vocal tone at all times somewhere between like a 5 to 7 level interest, you're not too excited, but you're not too disinterested about it. You're just right there at like the 5 to 7 out of 10 level interest. That vocal tone, let's just call it 6 out of 10 interest so it's easy. If you deliver it in a 6 out of 10 interest level vocal tone or voice, okay, what happens is this is truly like the secret. Because if you keep the vocal tone at like a 5, a 6, or a 7 level interest at all times, the woman is not really able to read how excited you are. She's not able to read your interest level fully. So you need to get used to just keeping a same or consistent vocal tone pattern. Guys who show a lot of emotion, they're really happy about this sentence, and then they're really sad about this sentence, and the woman sees him getting reactive. What's going to happen is she just will keep trying to pull you into her internal world of emotion. What will happen, or what that looks like, is she starts to send you text messages or phone calls, or she even starts asking you a bunch of questions about her personal life. Even she might be saying things like, yeah, my friend Kayla and Becky, they had this issue at work. What do you think they should do about it? How do you think they should handle this? And then what happens is the guy starts to give advice, and then she's disappointed in the advice that you give, and she starts to like you less because she sees she's able to pull you into conversation. That's just one example. There's going to be numerous instances where you find the woman is trying to constantly pull you into her internal world of emotion through conversation. This is why I'm always telling you, you have to stay above the conversation. You can never go into the conversation. Once you go into the conversation and you start communicating about all of the topics that she acts like she wants answers to, this is where you start to watch the desire completely go down. You need to stay above most conversations and not fall into it, because the more you start reacting and falling into all of the things, the worse the situation gets, okay? So that's why when you deliver things at like a 5, 6, or 7 level interest level of vocal tone, it keeps that frame and that dynamic on point where you are the masculine and she is the feminine. And if at any point that dynamic starts to fade, she becomes disinterested, okay? So you can't react to a lot of things. If you react to a bunch of stuff, she starts to trust your judgment less. So you can't get reactive. And I'm not just saying get reactive if there's an argument. I'm saying anything. If you start to get reactive, meaning you're answering all of the sentences or questions that she's giving you, you will notice a decrease in desire. Like the way you think that you can talk to your girlfriend, you actually can't, because if you just start having normal communication patterns where you end up falling into all these conversations, you will notice that arguments happen, vocal tone shifts of disinterest start to happen, and the whole relationship fades. This is why what you're going to find is the most attractive women are constantly single year after year after year after year, because all of these guys fail her interest tests, they fail her availability tests, they fail her status tests that she starts to give him, and then she feels like she can't find a man. Well, it's because the guy isn't doing all these things. He's actually just communicating with her like he would naturally communicate with, let's say, his brother or his best friend. He doesn't understand that the fundamental wavelength of communication is different. This is so important to realize. The way you would like to talk to her with just normal communication every day, you cannot do. Yes, I will say that one more time. You cannot do that. If you think you can just wake up and have normal conversation and communication at all times where you ask her questions and she asks you questions back and it's just a good dynamic, and if you think that you can answer and respond to all of the little things that she says throughout the day and fall into that conversation, if you think that that works, it doesn't. You'll watch the relationship dissolve. And she's not even probably going to be able to tell you why it's dissolving, because women just follow their feelings. She's just going to go, oh, I don't feel the same way anymore. And then you're going to be going, well, why? Well, this is why. The stuff I'm teaching you is important. Women always let you know when they need something. You don't have to initiate all this stuff that you think you have to initiate. You don't have to initiate the compliments. You don't have to do any of this. Women are the relationship builders. Okay, you need to understand this. Women are the relationship builders. They are good at that. They are more nurturing, okay? They are just better at that. When you try to step into that world of emotion, she gets a sense that you don't know your true purpose as a masculine man. Women are the relationship builders. What I want you to do is I want you to spend your time building your life and your purpose. Build the world of the masculine inside of you. Let her go build all that relationship stuff. Stop building text messages. We have a generation of grown men right now focused on building text message communication. This is getting pathetic. She will text you good morning first. She will text you hi handsome first. She will text you love you first. She will do this. She'll say love you, can't wait to see you, miss you. She will do this first. She will tell you that she needs a compliment first. Just quit. Quit doing all this. Quit doing all this stuff. It's not working. It's not going to work. Hop into my community where I show you how to learn, understand, and master the language of women. We have over 2,000 guys inside of this. I talk about this community all the time because I am the best at teaching this. This is my system that has taken me 10 years to create and craft for you through everything that I've learned. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Join us inside of that. You'll love it. We'll see you in the next one.